All right, hello wine drinking people. Today is Wednesday, the 14th of May, and man, you could call it Piedmont week this week because we've got our vintage Piedmont tasting coming up at the end of the week, and had a lot of great wines already in the month of May, but we've got two once-in-a-lifetime events, this Piedmont tasting going all the way back to 1958, and then, of course, our Quintarelli event at the end of the month. We're going to be serving the very first vintage of Al Zero, 1983. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And I will never forget the very first wine that got me into wines of the Piedmont. It wasn't Nebbiolo. No, it was Barbera, and it was the wines of Braida winery, Bricco Del Uccellone, one of the most famous Barberos. And I'll also never forget the dinner we did with Raffaella, our good friend from Braida di Bologna. And we went all the way back to the 1985 vintage, a legendary wine. I think 82 was their first release. We've had that at tastings as well. Unbelievable that you can make a Barbera that ages this long. And Raffaella's father, Giacomo, was the first guy to really believe in Barbera. He went over and saw how they were making the great wines of Bordeaux and went to California and said, I need to barrique age my Barbera because only this world's most serious wines are aged in barrel, and Barbera can make a great wine. He was convinced of it and then continued to convince the rest of the world, and everything they make at this winery is fabulous, including their sweet wines, which you got on this offer, the Moscato di Offo, the Moscato di Asti, the Vigna senza nome, the wine without a name. I call these the soda pop of wines, and then the Bricchetto di Acqui, which are fantastic. But wait, we're talking about the wineries, serious wines. And even though they make wines that are more expensive than Uccellone, like Isuma and the Bricco della Bigota, which you can't get in this country anymore, but the Uccellone is my favorite of the Barberas. This wine has uncanny balance. Unlike the overripe Isuma, which is very good also, which we've got several vintages on this offer of Isuma going back into the 90s, 1995, as we've got older vintages of Uccellone all the way back to 96. I love the balance in this wine. When these wines get older, they start to take on the character of Burgundies. They have this lovely earthy and the spice character to them, and they have this wonderful fruit. Another thing that Barbera has in common with the great Pinot Noir varietal is acidity. That is the reason why these wines can age so long. Barbera has got wonderful acidity. Hey, we've got the two new releases, the 2010 and 2011 vintage, which look like outstanding vintages in the Piedmont. Hey, 2009 was amazing. One of the greatest Uccellones of all time that I've had young, and we still have some magnums of this wine available and small bottles, but no more 750s. They're completely gone. 2010, the new release, and this vintage looks to be fairly drinkable upon release, and very bright, a classic vintage is what the word that's being thrown around by a lot of producers here. And then 2011, a return to the heat, a warmer vintage like 2009, more showy. And we got both of these releases on this offering, so check it out. Everything else we've got from this landmark winery in the Piedmont, from the town of Rocchetta Tenara, Braida di Bologna. I'm your host, Andrew Lamposoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.